Welcome back to Everyday Nuggets. Today, we're diving into the curious tale of the jack-o'-lantern, that glowing carved pumpkin that has become an iconic symbol of Halloween. But have you ever wondered where this tradition came from? Why do we carve faces into vegetables and place lights inside them? The answers might surprise you. The practice of carving vegetables into lanterns dates back thousands of years, with roots stretching across multiple continents and cultures. Long before pumpkins became the canvas of choice, people were hollowing out turnips, potatoes, and other root vegetables. By the 19th century in Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and parts of England, people hollowed and lit turnips and other roots at Halloween, often carving grotesque faces, either to represent spirits or to ward them off during Samhain, All Hallows. In agricultural societies, the harvest season was crucial, marking a time when communities prepared for the coming winter. In Celtic regions of Ireland, Scotland, and parts of England, the ancient festival of Samhain emerged as a significant seasonal celebration. Occurring around November 1st, Samhain marked the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter, the darker half of the year. The Celts believed that during Samhain, the boundary between the living world and the other world thinned, allowing spirits and fairies to cross over more easily. To ward off these wandering spirits, people would carve frightening faces into turnips and other root vegetables, placing embers inside to create glowing lanterns. These carved vegetables served dual purposes. They provided light during the dark autumn evenings and were thought to repel malevolent spirits. While the practice of vegetable carving has ancient origins, the specific term jack-o'-lantern comes from an Irish folk tale about a character known as Stingy Jack. This tale, dating back hundreds of years, helps explain why we associate these carved lanterns with the supernatural. According to the legend, Stingy Jack was a devious farmer who twice tricked the devil. The first time, Jack invited the devil for a drink, but then refused to pay. He convinced the devil to transform into a coin to pay for their drinks. Still, instead of using the coin, Jack placed it in his pocket next to a silver cross, preventing the devil from changing back. Jack eventually freed the devil under the condition that Satan would not claim his soul for 1 year, and if Jack should die during that time, the devil wouldn't take his soul to hell. The following year, Jack tricked the devil again by convincing him to climb a tree to pick fruit. While the devil was up in the tree, Jack carved crosses around the trunk, preventing the devil from climbing down. This time, Jack made the devil promise not to claim his soul for 10 more years. Shortly after this second encounter, Jack died. God refused to allow such a trickster into heaven. The devil, keeping his promise not to take Jack's soul, refused him entrance to hell. Instead, the devil sent Jack off into the dark night with only a burning coal to light his way. Jack placed the coal into a carved-out turnip and has been roaming the earth ever since. The Irish began referring to this ghostly figure as Jack of the Lantern, which eventually shortened to jack-o'-lantern. In Ireland and Scotland, people began carving scary faces into turnips and potatoes, placing them in windows or near doorways to frighten away Stingy Jack and other wandering evil spirits. These vegetable lanterns became particularly associated with All Hallows Eve, Halloween, when the veil between worlds was considered thinnest and protection from supernatural entities was most needed. The tradition of carving vegetables into decorative lanterns crossed the Atlantic Ocean with Irish immigrants, particularly during the Great Potato Famine of the 1840s. When they arrived in America, they discovered something that would forever change this autumn tradition: pumpkins. Pumpkins, native to North America, proved to be far more suitable for carving than turnips or potatoes. They were not only larger, providing more surface area for creative designs, but also had softer flesh that made carving intricate designs much easier. The bright orange color and hollow interior seemed purpose-built for lantern making. It's as if nature had designed the perfect canvas for this ancient tradition. One of the earliest known American images of a carved pumpkin lantern appeared in Harper's Weekly on November 23, 1867, titled "The Pumpkin Effigy," a landmark depiction even though it wasn't labeled a jack-o'-lantern in the article. By the late 19th century, pumpkin carving had become increasingly associated with Halloween celebrations across the United States. What's particularly interesting is how quickly Americans embraced this tradition and made it their own. Today, jack-o'-lanterns have evolved far beyond their humble origins. What began as simple carved turnips with frightening faces has evolved into a vibrant art form, with competitions held throughout the fall season. Professional pumpkin carvers create astonishingly detailed designs, from intricate patterns and portraits to elaborate 3D sculptures. The classic jack-o'-lantern design, featuring triangular eyes, a nose, and a jagged mouth, remains the most recognizable, but modern carvers experiment with countless variations. Some use specialized tools borrowed from woodworking and sculpture to achieve incredibly detailed results. Others employ techniques like scraping away just the outer skin to create areas that glow with different intensities when lit from within. In recent years, there's been a resurgence of interest in traditional turnip carving as people reconnect with the historical roots of the practice. These authentic turnip lanterns, with their gnarly, shrunken appearance, can be far more unsettling than their pumpkin counterparts, perhaps more true to the original spirit of warding off malevolent spirits. Jack-o'-lanterns have become deeply embedded in American autumn traditions. Beyond their Halloween associations, they represent the harvest season and appear in everything from children's books to horror films. Annual pumpkin festivals and carving competitions draw thousands of participants and spectators. The Pumpkin King character from Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas demonstrates how the jack-o'-lantern has become personified in popular culture. Communities across America host jack-o'-lantern displays featuring hundreds or even thousands of carved pumpkins. The most famous is the Great Jack-o'-Lantern Blaze in New York's Hudson Valley, where over 7,000 hand-carved pumpkins create spectacular illuminated installations. There's even science behind the perfect jack-o'-lantern. Pumpkin growers have developed varieties specifically for carving, with thinner walls and larger hollow interiors. Agricultural scientists continue to develop new cultivars that offer better color, shape, and carving properties. Preservation is another area of innovation. Various methods have emerged to extend the life of carved pumpkins, from bleach solutions to petroleum jelly applications on cut surfaces. These techniques aim to prevent mold and dehydration, which can quickly affect carved pumpkins. While particularly associated with North American Halloween celebrations, jack-o'-lanterns have spread worldwide. Countries with no historical connection to the tradition have adopted pumpkin carving as Halloween celebrations become increasingly global. In Japan, for instance, Halloween has gained popularity in recent decades, with jack-o'-lanterns becoming a recognizable symbol despite having no cultural precedent there. From warding off evil spirits in ancient Celtic lands to becoming the centerpiece of modern Halloween decorations, the jack-o'-lantern has come a long way. What began as a simple carved vegetable with a candle has evolved into a beloved cultural icon that bridges ancient folklore and contemporary celebration. A glowing reminder of how traditions adapt and transform across centuries and continents, while still maintaining their core purpose of bringing light to the darkest time of year. Thanks for watching another episode of Everyday Nuggets. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe for more videos. If you have suggestions for other everyday objects you'd like to learn about, please leave them in the comments below. Stay curious.